there seems to be some kind of issue with us, myself, or maybe the Vesicle, about money. All this stuff we had with the bank, all the fraudulent things we had so much trouble transferring money. It was a nightmare. We had trouble getting we got charged. We were told we didn't pay a bill that we paid, and it was a nightmare trying to get proof that we had really paid it, and that was a nightmare. And now we're having trouble with one of our bank accounts, and it's like, okay, what's going on here? What is it that I'm projecting, or what is it I'm needing to learn? If it's me, what about money? Why?
It's not about money, it's about the banking system. So there are judgments. You have judgments around the banking system.
Well, that's true.
You've judged them as being greedy and incompetent and so on, and you're reaping your judgment in your experience of them. So when you can forgive them and see them not as institutions but people, real people, who are doing their best, for instance, just as you would a nurse in the hospital. You found that when you were in the hospital, there were several very kind nurses. Would you agree?
Yes.
And compassionate.
Yes.
And so just because someone works in a challenging system, or a system that is overdeveloped and overly complex, disconnected in some ways, does not mean that the people there do not have value or are not worthy or so on. And so both of you need to watch, be very careful. You have judgments about the banking system. Much of this is fed by the spiritual, quote and unquote, spiritual information that you consume. And these teachings and various messages saying that the banking system is corrupt and this and that and the other. And so it causes you to have judgments, harsh judgments about the banking system in general, which is attracting this sort of difficulty.
Okay, so yes, I understand that completely.
So it has nothing to do with your attitude about money or what you deserve. It has everything to do with your judgments about banking.
Okay.
And so you can change banks all you want, and you're simply going to reap the fruit of your judgment again and again, no matter where you move your money.
Okay, I got that.
And so if you anticipate having an easy time of it, if you anticipate receiving help and clear communication and so on, and if you are patient, then things will sort themselves out and you might find a friend. But basically, well, we'll just be honest here.
Please.
Either and both of you have incited some fear in the hearts of some who have attempted to help you. Fear and intimidation because of your angst and anger and frustration. And so they hate to see you coming.
Yes.
And so how could you expect them to do a good job when you're angry and frustrated and impatient?
Yeah, I agree. But so is it wrong, or how should I view this, that credit card companies charge 27% interest? 27%. To me, that's just, I'm sorry, that's just out and out greed.
It is, but they are not charging you 27% interest.
Right. Okay.
As a matter of fact, they make absolutely $0 from you because
Yes.
you pay off your bill. As a matter of fact, they lose money on you because
Yeah.
they give you cash back rewards. And they don't charge an annual fee.
Yes.
So basically, you're getting their service for free, plus a little.
Yeah. Well, they're making up on John Smith because he's paying 27%.
Yes, that is correct. It is wicked. We agree. It is wicked.
So I guess I have a hard time with that. I have to remember that everything that goes on out there is my projection. And sometimes I get caught up in that, maybe that I'm a victim or that we are victims. And I forget that it's all just a projection from me.
Well, this is where, for instance, watching the movie The Matrix will assist you to remind you that you are not of the matrix of business, finance, the medical system, education, politics, these pillars of the matrices that we've spoken about before. You are not a part of them, but you do need to make use of some of the services from time to time. You do live in this three-dimensional world. You're not living off-grid in a self-sustaining manner. So you must learn how to take responsibility for creating your own reality. Go in and go out of the matrix, as you see in the movie. This the one he was able to go in and out of the matrix at will and do what needed to be done. And understand there are many within the matrix. There are even those bankers, and there are doctors, and there are nurses, and there are teachers, even two very precious teachers that come to your Judah gatherings. You see, there are many who work inside these matrices, and they are enlightened souls. And it is they are making sacrifice to work in these environments and to bring light to the degree that they can, and to morph and transmute and shape the matrices in which they work. You see?
Yes.
And thank goodness that there are some who are doing it, especially, for instance, in the area of teachers. The minds of all of these young there, you see, are being shaped. And so we encourage you not to make judgmental statements about institutions such as they are brainwashing our children. When you say they are brainwashing our children, speaking of the educational system, that is a false statement.
I don't think I've ever said that.
Well, if one were to say that, understand that it is a blanket judgment when there are many, 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 many loving souls within schools and school systems who wipe noses and love children, feed children, care for them, teach them. Some of these teachers are the only mother and father figures that some children will ever have. And we assure you they are there for the right reasons. So the same can be said of bankers, politicians, and so on. It's very important to realize there are real souls in these matrices. Some of them, there is a large percentage of unconsciousness that causes them to be the matrices of unconsciousness that they are. And that the large percentage of unconsciousness within these, we will call them strongholds of medicine, education, politics, religion, and banking. There is a large level of unconsciousness there that causes them to be the pillars of the matrix. However, we assure you there are loving souls in every one of these institutions, and there are wise souls and conscious souls in each of these institutions, and they are making a large sacrifice, many of them, to continue on pursuing their life work within the restraints of these institutions.
Yes, and I don't believe that I hold the teachers and the people who work in the bottom lines responsible. I don't see them as being responsible at all. Sometimes I wonder, why would you? I couldn't work for a corporation that was dishonest, but it's the powers that be that I hold responsible, and that may not be good, but it's the people who are running, who are in charge of education, who are in charge of the banks and systems.
Well, there are many souls even now who are awakening, and they are troubled by their professions. They are troubled by what they see in the places where they work. Even just this week, this vessel was speaking to a pharmacist who has retired now and is pursuing artistic endeavors. So there are many who are awakening, and as they awaken and look around them, they are unhappy with what they see. They realize that what the work they have engaged, sometimes for decades, is misaligned with their awakened soul. And yet they are enslaved and entrapped by their need to survive and live a human existence. They want to get out. They want to find meaningful work that is aligned with the soul and leave their current circumstance. And it is difficult for them to continue on in the place where they are, being misaligned and longing for their soul's purpose to be unveiled through their day-to-day experience. And so this vessel is developing a real compassion for these. And so it is a point of gratitude if you can do the work that you love. You have been your own boss for so long, and you dictate your environment and your work in alignment with what your soul wants. And you have also made that a possibility for this vessel, who, when you met, was struggling to be an awakening soul in a very difficult and dark system. And so perhaps that can be part of your vision. Even imagine with each one that you can invest in a new potential, a new vision, a new dream for themselves, to work for enlightened people who respect their gifts and talents and pay them generously and allow them to be aligned to their inner being within their work. This is a tremendous gift, you see.
Yes.